If you care about issues like abortion, if you care about issues like voting rights, redistricting and gerrymandering, if you care about the fate of the 2024 election, this race is ground zero for that. We have seen after the last elections how certain states have had to deal with lawsuits and challenges to their election. There have been efforts by extreme Republicans to throw out votes that were legally cast. Well, the thing that stops that from going forward is the state Supreme Court. And so if we lose an opportunity to put in a Democrat and change the balance of this court, we could very well be vulnerable to more election challenges, more frivolous election challenges in 2024. And the reason why Republicans have such a stronghold majority in the Wisconsin legislature is because the Supreme Court that's been led by conservatives to this point were able to grant these gerrymandered maps and keep Republicans in power. So there's no balance there. This election will return that. This is also a court, by the way, that rejected efforts to try to expand voting rights in Wisconsin. It's limited the opportunity for voters to participate in the democratic process. That's also something that could flip if we put a Democrat, if you will, in this court seat and change the balance of it.
You know what, Kurt, there's another big picture, I think, issue here. Increasingly, Americans are skeptical of the independence just of the U.S. Supreme Court, let alone state Supreme Courts, right? And in this race, candidates have run TV ads touting where they would stand if they were elected. Take a look at some of the recent ads.
Dan Kelly has a proven record of protecting our freedoms.
It's no surprise Judge Doro is law enforcement's choice, the tested judicial leader.
Protect public safety. I believe in a woman's freedom to make her own decision on abortion. It's time for a change.
Have we ever seen anything quite like this? I mean, $10 million, let's start with that. But then a judge who's supposed to be an independent thinker, look at the facts of any individual case, putting ads out and saying, here's where I stand on an issue.
Yeah, we've seen almost the contamination of the political process overrunning what used to be thought to be a nonpartisan, independent judicial process, and that polarization has only expanded. You look at those ads, Chris, and if you didn't know any better, you would think that these are candidates running for Congress or governor or Senate, just by the tone, tenor, and messaging of that. But that's kind of the reality that we have to confront right now. Why it's so important, I think, especially speaking as a Democrat, for the Democratic Party's apparatus to engage in these types of elections now, because they really are the frontline battle of democracy, of upholding just the fundamental right to participate in the democratic process and to have your vote counted and not thrown out by a bunch of radical extremists, because that's the pattern that we've seen from the Republican Party going forward. It's their radical behavior, their unprecedented behavior, that has forced these races, which used to kind of run under the radar, to now move to the forefront and have become very important.
Kurt Bardella, Rachel Rubin, thank you both very much.